Hello, and welcome to Dystopian Electronics Workshop. Today we're doing something a little different. We are actually in my hotel room in San Diego, and we're going to take a look at some electronics that we found here and elsewhere on my travels, and we're going to see if we can make something out of it and check it out. So first off, the very first thing we're going to look at here is we have these two asset control tags. Now, I found these in an underpass in Arizona. I was with one of my coworkers, and he actually pointed it out. I picked it up, and he went, "Oh man, you should have gotten a video of you picking that up." So, oh, you're totally right. I should have. So let's see. Here's a picture. There's a picture of it there in the underpass. You can kind of see it right in the middle. And I didn't even think to get a video the first day. And the next day we went, it was where we were getting our dinner. We walked back over there. And sure enough, in the same underpass, check out this video. Take a look at that. And I found a second one. So it looks like people were going and stealing things and then throwing the inventory control tags under the bridge so nobody would hear it. But it looks like it's got a speaker in here. It looks like there's an LED. So I figured there might be something we could use in there and maybe make our own DIY alarm system. Next up, there's a couple of little things. I have this mystery component that I picked up in Chicago. And I found that on the side of the road, wasn't sure what it was. And let's see, what else? We got some broken earbuds we picked up in Chicago as well. And then finally here in San Diego, we had showed up after somebody else had a party. There's some little LED necklace light here. So we'll look at that, see if there's anything useful in there. And with that, I think we're going to play a little bit of an intro. Every year, more than 20 tons of electronics are thrown away. At Dystopian Electronics Workshop, we harvest this waste stream to build cool experiments and upgrade our workshop. Okay, so we're back, and first up, we're going to take a look at this asset control tag. And I don't know, there's no screws on here. I don't know if there's an easy way to get into it. So I'm going to try the difficult way. I'm just going to try to wedge this guy open. Oh, that's actually working fairly well. We are on the road, so I don't have my full selection of tools. I do have my phone set up here as a camera. But that too is being a little difficult. So we'll see if I can get that working as we go along. What I do have is I have my little USB microscope here. But we got this open. Let's take a look at what's on the inside. There's a little pin here. There's a little speaker. Oh. There's that little speaker. It's not much. It's a little rusty. And this is interesting, actually. This should be a speaker. And there is an LED. I don't know if you can see that right there. It is just hot glued in. There is no battery. What I thought was a speaker is actually just a little piece of metal as a weight. And this LED is just glued in place. There is a little, see a little inductor in there. That's probably actually what this is counting on. This here will probably set off the alarms in whatever building it happens to be in. I'll try to pull that off. Pull the glue on this LED, we'll test it out, see if it's a real LED. If nothing else, we might just get some steel cable and an LED out of this. Sort of hoping for something a little bit better. I'm going to jump over really quick to YouTube and see if there's anything I need. Nope, nothing I need to address right now, which is just fine. We're going to keep working on getting this out of here. This glue is super sticky. Yep. Grab a flathead screwdriver, see if I can wedge that out. There you go. Got that LED out. Now it's time to use my handy dandy tester. So here's my mobile dystopian electronics workshop bag. Got all my components in there, anything I might need on the road. My travel soldering iron, little portable multimeter. And I got some random parts that I've picked up as I'm working in different places, so I'll have something to show you when I'm on the road. Okay, before we get to the LCR meter, just pop this open and hook up this microscope really quickly. Plug that in. See if we can't get you a view. What we have going on here. Let's see, USB camera. This is a very old camera. And it actually is in PAL format. Fortunately, my computer doesn't seem to mind that. Just lining this up so you don't have to be all dizzy. That view. There you go. So you can see this is just a little wire wrapped inductor. There's a little something under the tape here. Let's peel back the tape and see what's under there. There you go. That right there is going to be your chip. It gets powered by that coil. And that's what's going to set off your alarm system. So unfortunately, well, here, I'll bring this over here too so you can see. Just a little hunk of metal. Definitely not a speaker. So that's what we have there. Ironically, I think what we'll take a look at next. So I've got this mystery component that I picked up in Chicago. And let's see, I think I have a video of me picking that up as well. Let's see, is this Chicago mystery component video? It is. So I'm going to show you the video of me picking that up, and I'll be right back. Not sure what that is. Okay, so I picked this up. I didn't know what it was. It looked kind of like a sensor. And it's got this electrical tape on the end of it. So if we peel back this electrical tape, let's see. With that peeled back, I'm going to hold that up, and you can see that is actually just a wire wrapped around a little button. And that pops out. I've actually been playing with this a little bit. Here's our metal that was stuck into our other thing. There's a little magnet. So it looks like somebody attached a magnet to a wire. I don't know, maybe they had it on the bottom of their motorcycle to set off the traffic lights. Maybe it was just a kid playing around, I don't know. But it's actually a fairly strong little magnet. So I'm going to add that magnet to the inventory. And that gives us one more fun thing there. Let's set aside light number 1, or light tag number 1. I'm not super hopeful for tag number 2 here. But let's pop this guy open and see if it's anything different. Oh. Another little hunk of steel. Picks up well with the magnet. Another little green inductor. And another loose LED. So now, if you'll just give me one moment, I'm going to step away, grab the LCR meter, and I'll be right back. All right, I am back. That is one of the joys of doing live production. Sometimes you got to go find something. I was actually playing around with this. I have a mystery circuit board I'll be bringing you in a future episode. I was using this to see if I could figure out, get a little head start on what that circuit board might be. Not quite sure. But for right now, let's pop one of these LEDs in and see if it's something legitimate or not. So I got that loaded in. I'm going to hit test. And I'm getting no unknown or damaged part. Try it one more time just to make sure. Testing. Oh, there you go. All right, I'll do that one more time so you can see it on screen. That is a red LED. It says diode, forward voltage 2.53 volts. So I might use a heat gun later or something to get this glue off because it is nasty. But we'll test the other one. Probably also a red LED, no reason for it to be anything different. But you never know. Obviously they were cutting some corners here. The hidden test. And that is not a red LED. That is a white LED. So we got a red LED and a white LED. A couple hunks of metal and some steel cable. That steel cable may come in handy later. I don't know. So we're definitely not going to be able to make a security alarm out of 2 LEDs, as was my hope. But next up, take a quick look. These headphones, they have no speakers in them. So this is just going to be some wire and a tip ring sleeve, TRS 2.5 or 3.5 millimeter audio connector. So I don't have a whole lot more to say about those. I'll set those to the side. And if we need those parts later, we'll see that come back up again. Jump over here to YouTube really quickly. See, oh, hello, Mimi. Welcome to the live stream. If you got any questions, anything you want to hear or know, hit me up. And maybe you'll be able to join in on the live stream next week as well. So next up, we're going to take a quick look at this necklace. And on the back of it, on the front of it, it's just got one button. That turns it on. On the back, there's a screw, a spot for some batteries. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot more in there, but we'll open it up and see what we can find. Okay, we are back. And oh, Mom and Dad are watching on the TV. They say hi. Well, hello, Mom and Dad. Unfortunately, I can't get that camera working, so we're just going to have to go with the one camera. I'm going to go ahead and pop this open. I'll show you what's inside. So for this, we need a little Phillips screwdriver. I'm going to tilt this down so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Clean up my desk. Pulling off this battery cover. And inside we got 3 batteries. Haven't seen them. I'm guessing these are going to be LR44 batteries. See if I'm right. Uh-oh. Tilt that up just a little bit. Okay, get that under the microscope. I'll pull this up on the microscope so you can see. Look at that focused. That's upside down, but that's okay. There you go. LR44. So we got 3 LR44 batteries. They're at least working well enough to power this thing. So we got those out. There's one more little screw in here, so I'm going to pop that out. Another teeny tiny Phillips. Might wonder how come I knew it was an LR44 without looking. My daughter used to have these little tiny pets that took batteries, and all of them took LR44s. Okay, so that end just popped out. You can see there's a little coil or a little knot of wire. So that's this end. This end has the wire coming out of it. So I'm gonna pop this top off now. Once again, we got some hot glue gun holding everything in place, or hot glue. There's one tiny resistor here. Let's see if we can get that on the camera. While I'm getting this sized up on the camera, I'll tell you about something I did just kind of for fun today. I went ahead and added a new page to the Dystopian Electronics Workshop website. Okay. So here this is on the camera. You see here, there's that little blob of hot glue. There's the positive wire coming from the batteries. Underneath that, There's one. Let's see what that says. 7C. It looks like a capacitor. And there is a resistor. Green, red, black, gold. So for resistors, I always just use a resistor calculator. I can't remember all the numbers. So if I go resistance calculator. Nope, resistor calculator. Okay. So first is green, red, black, gold. So this is a 52 ohm resistor with a 5% tolerance. That means plus or minus 5%. And that is going straight to the negative terminal. That comes down here to this little tiny circuit board, which we're about to pop out and see what is on there. Come back up to this big screen. Pop that glue. Apparently this is the sticky glue episode today. Use a smaller screwdriver to pry this out. There you go, got it pried out. And kind of what I expected, but I'm gonna fade back over here. The only thing on this side is just one switch. A little through-hole switch. So you got that switch. You got the resistor, you got one capacitor, and you got this white blob. Under that white blob is probably a little integrated circuit. Usually you see a black blob for these, but that's going to be your control, your on-off control. And that'll just be bare silicon under there, so they put the blob of epoxy on top of it to protect it and obscure their exciting electronics. I'm going to jump back over, see if there's any other comments. Nothing else right now. So we'll put that back together. I think my daughter might actually want to keep that as a necklace, but it does count towards the inventory, so if I need some LR44 batteries, I'll know where to find them. Let's see, anything else we want to take a look at before we go here? Oh yeah, I started to tell you the story about the wish list. So I went ahead and on Amazon, I made a wish list for Dystopian Electronics Workshop. It's all electronics, not electronics. It's not electrical components. It's all accessories that we could use on the channel. I'm not asking anyone to buy it. A lot of the items are actually quite expensive, but if you feel like supporting the channel, you want to look and pick something up, that would be fun. I'll make sure to give you a shout out if you do, as long as you include a note in the item that you purchase. And I'll continue adding less expensive items as well. I just kind of had the idea in the middle of the night last night, and of course start off with the plastic extruder that we could use to 3D print our own cases from the broken plastic we get off of items that we pick up off the side of the road. So that would be that'd be really cool. Let's see, I do have one other item I wanted to pull out here. So this is the power supply for the EL wire. I'm sure you noticed at the end of the EL wire video I did not make anything with the EL wire. The reason for that is I actually plugged the battery that was hooked up to this into a charger, and not thinking about the fact that it was put out a lot more power than already, higher voltage than was going into the system already. And this little chip on here started to smoke. The whole thing heated up so much it was just floating in hot solder. And I unhooked it, let it cool down, was hoping it would work, and it seems to be pretty much shot. So I'm not going to be able to use this for the EL wire, which I have with me, just in case I do manage to get it working. I do have this Elastolite. This is an EL panel power supply. So my hope is if I get this thing working, I'll be able to get that EL wire up and make a project out of it. But in the meanwhile, I think that's going to be all that we have for this week. Check one more time. No more comments. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Check out our channel at dystopianelectronicsworkshop.com. We do have a tag now for the YouTube channel. It's at Dystopian Electronics Workshop with capital letters for each one. And other than that, hope you have a great day. Now it's your turn to get out there and do something.